Most of you, I'm Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly Voyages, and I have been the volunteer coordinator, and I'm also co-president with Jody this year, and I've got a ninth grader, Orion.
Okay.
Okay, I think is it my turn?
Oh, Kelly, there you are. Yes.
Hi. So I'm Kelly Rothrock, and I have a ninth grader, Zane Rothrock, and I am vice president.
I'll go next. I'm Jill Jordan Spitz. I have a 10th grader named Quinn.
And I am Margaret Cohen. I have two middle schoolers, one in 5th and one in 8th. And I am the treasurer. And Jill is our secretary. I don't know if did you say that?
No, I just realized I didn't say that. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's great. We have a great team this year. I love working, and Cece's here. I see. Hi, Cece. She was our president last year, so she set a really good example for us. Okay, so welcome, and I would encourage everybody in the chat, write your name and the grade of your child, so everybody can see just the different grade levels that are here. That would be great. Oh, I hear some noise. No? Okay. All right, let's get with the agenda. So we have some Family Association business to attend to. First, we have minutes from our last meeting to approve, as well as the minutes from the very last meeting of last school year. Jill sent it out an email, so hopefully you had a chance to review it or watch the recording from the last meeting. So I'll just open it up briefly to see if anybody has any questions, comments, edits about those minutes before we vote to approve. Okay, so can we have a motion to approve both minutes?
Sure, I'll move to approve both minutes.
Margaret moves to motion, and a second. I'll second. Can I second as a president? Is that official? I'm going to
second.
Thank you. Okay, and all in favor of approving the minutes, you can just raise your hand, put a thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Any opposed? Please let me know. Watching in the, okay. Minutes are so approved. Thank you so much. Okay, first, the next item is our treasurer's report. So our first meeting, we didn't have much to report because we haven't done anything, but it is Margaret's big day to give us a treasure.
Well, it's not that big. We, of course, as you know, we just have wrapped up our big homecoming event. And this was our first big kind of financial undertaking. We don't have quite final figures yet because we still have some outstanding bills with our vendors, but based on our approximations and what we do have, it looks like we will come in a bit in the black. So we're right on track for where we want to be. Homecoming, I would just note, sorry, that's my grumpy dog, is not meant to be a fundraiser for us. So we're really aiming just to cover our costs and to put on a great event for the community. And it looks like that's exactly where we're going to be. So final figures to come, but so far we're in good shape.
Thank you so much, Margaret. Appreciate that. Okay. On the subject of money, I'm going to have Kelly, our other co-president, talk about Shop Raise. It's a new opportunity. And there's a little bit of history here because in the past, on our FA website, there were little ways that families could contribute with shopping dollars. You may have remembered Amazon Smile that would give a portion of proceeds to your choice of nonprofit or charity organization. And that stopped. So there's nothing on our webpage anymore. So I'm going to turn over to Kelly so that Kelly can tell you about Shop Raise.
Okay. Well, Jody, if you would be so kind as to put the page up. So ShopRaise is something that we discovered as an alternative to the Amazon Smile program, which it's very similar in the way that it works, except that it's not one big store, but instead it kind of funnels all of these other retailers through it they pay a little bit to kind of have themselves on the program and get advertised. And if anybody has experience with ShopRaise, feel free to speak up and let us know, because we haven't actually had any direct experience with it, but we're looking at it as a great way potentially for folks to just do their regular shopping, and once again have a percentage of those sales come to the Gregory School, and that would benefit the Family Association to help us with some of those events that we do. So this website that Jody has put up is actually the page that you go to, and you can search for the Gregory School. So if you see, it's kind of small, but on the left you see where Jody's going to click all, and you select Arizona, and then you can either do that one for school. You see school, there we go. And then your charity's name, you put in the Gregory School. Make sure you use the word Gregory to find it, because it does not come up. It's not TGS there. And when you search on it, then you'll see, and I know that the Gregory School is listed twice, so I think that's something that we need to check with administration, because they are the powers that are able to get in there and have things change. But if you click on that first one, Jody, what it'll do is it takes you there, it selects that the Gregory School for you, and then you can get the app. Now the app you can add to your phone, which means you'd have to go through the app and shop through the retailers, but you can see there's about 1,000 stores, and you can also get gift cards. You can even buy Amazon gift cards, believe it or not. You can't shop through Amazon, but you can buy Amazon gift cards. So, and there's Walmart and Kohl's and Home Depot and Lowe's and these other ones you see here. So it's a lot of big stores that you probably use. And if you don't want to put it on your phone, you actually can also put it on your computer. So I put it on my computer, and it puts a little extension for Chrome. And then when you go to a website, like if you go to walmart.com, it pops up and says this one's eligible, and then you can activate it and do your shopping, and then it automatically does it for you. So it's pretty straightforward from the looks of it. I put an order through Chewy today, so we'll see if that shows up for the Gregory School as far as some percentage of my dog's food going to, hopefully raise a little bit of money. But it basically is a replacement for Amazon Smile. So we'd like to try it out, and we're going to go ahead and put, it'll be in the newsletter. We're going to add it to our website. And when Jody puts this back to the normal screen so I actually can see my chat again, there we go. Thank you. I'm going to put the link to that page right here, because that's the main page to actually select the Gregory School from. But you can obviously explore the website to look at all the different retailers that are available. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them. I just don't know if I will have any answers right now, because we're just trying this out. So I've added to my computer. I've just put a purchase in. We're going to see what happens and how it works, if it's as smooth as Amazon Smile was. So we're hoping that other people will give it a try as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you know what percentage that the school gets back from like a purchase?
As far as I can tell, it depends on the retailer. Okay. So the Amazon gift cards, I think it says 1%, but some of the stores say 1.5%. So it apparently depends on the retailer.
Okay. Nice work.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay. I just want to do a quick recap and shout out for homecoming. How many people here were able to attend homecoming? Yay. Yes. So, hooray. Kelly is here. She was our chairperson again this year. And I just want to acknowledge her in front of all of you, because it is a huge effort. And as we were all coming out of COVID, and getting back into having our community events, she stepped up last year and really took the lead, and she did it again this year. It's a huge effort. So I just want to say thank you, Kelly. You really did so much.
Well, that's nice. Thank you. I can't do it by myself, that's for sure. Everybody, you all helped. So, and all the parents, all the volunteers, the staff. So it's a big effort from everybody. But thank you. It's not just me.
Absolutely right. And I actually want to show. Now, these are just names of people who signed
Okay.
up for our sign
Oh
up.
my gosh.
This is just from Sign Up Genius. I know there was a lot of parents who just stepped in and helped. So please know, I don't have the name of everybody, but I just want to show you how many people are involved in this. And that's not including, I know I've left out some TGS staff. We have lots of TGS staff that help and our maintenance and security crew. So I just want you to know that it takes all of us to make this event happen. And I am so proud of what everybody has done for our homecoming. And with saying that, I want to encourage everybody too for next year. We're already thinking about next year. How can we get more people involved? How can we get more people in attendance? And what could we improve upon? So we would love to have your feedback. If there's anything that you have ideas on, we'd love to hear it. If one of my good friends could put in our email address into the chat, I'd appreciate it. But we are taking all kinds of feedback for next year. We'd love to hear it from you. And we are going to meet and start talking about how to create a committee for homecoming for 2024. So if you're interested, if you've got great ideas, you already know you want to be involved, please let us know. Because we're going to start talking about that already and hopefully getting things rolling. Okay, I also just want to quickly show you and say a big thank you to our lunchtime volunteers. I just want to say we asked for help. This is a new program this year where parents are helping out during lunch in the middle school grounds and in our library so that our teachers can all attend a staff meeting together. We started out with Tuesdays, we've just added Fridays, and these are all the parents who stepped up and said, yes, I will help. They met and got a little bit of orientation from Allison. So I just want to show you how awesome our families are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is anyone here who does the lunch volunteers? I think I saw when we were talking to Christina, right? So I know at least Christina's here who does it. So thank you. You have to put anything in the chat, Christina, if you have any words on how it's going, what you think of being a volunteer at lunch. Okay, so quickly, what's happening? What's coming up? I want to share. Our farmers market is coming up November 21st. And for those of you who may be new to the Gregory School, this is a tradition that is unique, as far as I know, unique to TGS. And it's quite amazing. I don't think the first year I was here, I quite understood the magnitude of it. So I just wanted to explain how this is our big teacher appreciation event for the year. We do try to do things for them throughout the year, but this is the big one. And a lot of times I think the parents don't get to see it. They make a lot of donations. So the families donate a bunch of items right before Thanksgiving. This year, it's going to be on November 21st. And there are items there that are for Thanksgiving fixings. There's gifts, there's goodies, there's, I don't know, people bring all kinds of things. But basically what you can imagine is teachers and staff are given a shopping bag and they can walk up and down these tables full of items and pick and choose to bring goodies home for their Thanksgiving holiday. It is really special. And I know Dr. Cheryl has told me that she has actually discussed that when she has been recruiting for our faculty, right? That it's really a testament to how much our families love our teachers. So I just want
I don't use it to recruit, but our faculty use it to recruit. Faculty talk about this and say they've never seen anything like it, Jody. So, but thank you. Credit where credit's due. It's the teachers and word of mouth.
Well, it's amazing. So we are so lucky that we have Rusty here, and is Sabrina here too? I didn't see, I'm not sure if her name showed up, but they are our chairpersons who ran it, yes, last year, and they're going to run it again this year. Thank you so much. And so we're going to be meeting with them next week to just kick it off and get it started. So I would say keep an eye out for communications coming up on how you can be a part of it, how you can contribute. I know as a parent too, I really appreciate it because I always want to love on the teachers and the staff, and I just don't know how. So I so appreciated when I was here for the first few years and heard about this, and I was like, oh, I love it. So I know how to give and be part of it. So keep an eye out for that. I also wanted to let you know that the winter formal is, beyond that, but just to give you a heads up that Student Council did do a quick survey of all the upper school students. And out of those who responded, about 71% said they did want a formal event, because we never know as the FA, if do the kids even want it? Do they want to do this? Do they want to dress up? Do they want to be casual? And so they did vote yes, they would like it. And Rebecca Sunt is going to be our chairperson for that. And she's going to start working with the committee in November. So those of you who may have signed up at registration that you're interested in helping with something like winter formal, we may keep an eye on your email. You'll be contacted. Oh, you mentioned you might be interested. We're going to start talking soon about that.
And Jody, if I can interrupt, just to say that if you didn't sign up at registration and you are interested in being on the committee, please email us, because we're happy to include anyone, whether you signed up at registration or not.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to give an opportunity for any of our class reps that may be here, and if there's anything they'd like to share that's happening in their grade level, please feel free to share now. Just a brief update. If there's something exciting going on, would love to hear it. I have a couple updates from two people that couldn't make it tonight, but is there anyone here that would like to give a quick update?
I'll update on behalf of Tanis, who couldn't be here for 5th. She wanted to let everyone know that 5th grade is going swimmingly, which I can also attest to. It was a great first quarter. And one exciting thing that is coming up is the 5th graders and their senior buddies are going to be doing the annual pumpkin carving, which everyone is looking forward to. So that's a fun event coming up.
I'm thinking of all the seeds. Where are all the seeds going to go and all the goop? That's great. And I got an update just from Allison from 8th grade that she is hoping to hold a spring grade level get together. So if anyone's interested in being involved in that, to let her know. And an end of the year event too. So she said, if anyone wants to be involved in that, she'd love to get that going for your grade. Okay, if there's nothing else with class reps, then athletics with Hawk Nation. Coach E let me know that they are hosting a Boyd Baker tournament for the girls basketball team. It's on November 20th. And so she is looking for a couple volunteers. So if any of you are big into basketball and would love to volunteer, it's only about an hour and a half, 2-hour commitment. She needs 2 volunteers, one to take money and one to work the snack bar, because she's going to be at the scoreboard, which is really important. So I'm going to put her email if I can. Let me see. I'll put her email in the chat, but she's looking for 2 volunteers.
Jody, I'm sorry, one to take money and one to.
One to take money and one to work the snack bar.
Got it.
Okay. And Emmy's here. Emmy, would you like to give us an update on the performing arts?
Sure. So there is upper school musical coming up in November. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Here you go. I'm so sorry. It's on November 17th and 18th at 7 p.m. And the fine arts, I'm so sorry. My son's KK. The Fine Arts Committee gathered a couple weeks ago to discuss what we need to do before and during the performance. And we created a list of things that we need. And we are sending out Sign Up Genius to all parents the beginning of the next month.
Okay.
Sorry.
For those, for items you'll need for those performances?
Items and so we are setting up a snack bar, the concession bar, and we are selling cookies, and people who are volunteering there, and also meal donations. We are asking for meal donations 13th through 17th. So we'll be sending out Sign Up Genius beginning of November.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Emmy. Okay. And we are on to our TGS updates. So we have Cece here, who's part of the search committee for the head of the school. So we'd love to hear from you, Cece. Are you ready?
Sure. Okay, so thank you for inviting me to come and give a head of school search update. I'm going to recognize Amber Otto as well. She's another parent who's on the search committee. We have been meeting since, last spring after Dr. Cheryl announced her retirement. We got together and drafted a job description, job announcement, those kinds of things. We took applications through the end of August. We had 18 applications come in that were completed and sort of vetted through our process. Whittled that down to seven candidates who went through first round of interviews. From those seven, we whittled down again to five who went through a second round of interviews. And now we are at a point where we are entertaining site visits for the candidates who are remaining. You should have gotten an email on Monday that described the site visit process that we'll be going through. And hot off the presses, the search committee just met right before this meeting. And in your email box tonight or tomorrow, you should be seeing an update. We've had a recent development in that one of our candidates just dropped out of the process. So I'm seeing looks of disappointment across my screen. The committee remains confident that we are still excited about our process, and we are eager to bring the final candidate to campus. So we still want participation in the whole process from as many people in our community as possible. There are, if you read the email on Monday, there will be time for faculty to meet with them, the staff to meet with them. There's a student forum, there's a faculty forum, there's a parent forum. So there's all kinds of opportunities to meet the candidate on November 8th. And we would really like to have as much participation in this process as possible because it's a dynamic process. It's not over till it's over. So we could decide that this person isn't the right fit. We could all decide that we love this person a lot and that he would be great. And we can't know that unless we have people who participate in the process. So we are excited about having all of you participate, all of your children participate, and as many of you as possible to meet the candidate who comes. If the candidate is not the right fit, then the committee is committed to continuing our process and looking at what our options are. And there are options, so we're not done until we're done. So that, yes, Kelly.
I have a question. So out of the two candidates, which it was Dr. Matt Mars, is he the U of A professor or the other guy?
He is the U of A professor.
Okay, I was just curious.
Right.
Thanks.
So
There's no discussion of adding a second candidate in there from the mix?
not at this point, no. So we're going to continue with the process. We would like everybody to meet Mr. Ball, who will become Donald Ball, who will be coming on November 8th. And we'll see what happens. It doesn't mean that he's going to be our next head of school. So we still have to finish the process. So, but we need all of your participation to inform us so that we can then make our recommendation to the board.
Thank you, Cece. That's what I'm hearing, is that you want to get as much feedback as possible, that just because the one candidate dropped out doesn't mean the other candidate is a shoo-in, that there's still a lot of examination to do. And the search committee is going to do right by the school. And if it's needed, then you'll go out again and get a fresh batch of candidates. So, okay.
Exactly. So I see another question.
Do we know anything about the position that Dr. Mars took?
We do not. We know that he describes it as his dream opportunity. So, you know, and that it was the best decision for him and his family. That he will be remaining at the U of A in some capacity.
Okay. Are there any questions for Cece while we're on the topic? Okay. I definitely want someone where TGS is their passion. So thank you, Cece, for your work and the whole search committee. Amber on the committee. Yeah, it's a lot of work. So kudos to all of you for all that you've put in since last year. Okay. Just looking real quick to see if there's any other questions. No. Okay. Let's move on, Dr. Cheryl. We'd love to hear from you and what's happening right now at TGS.
Thank you. What is happening right now at TGS is I want to do a little shout out to all of you and the rest of our community who really rallied during homecoming and our kickoff to the annual fund. As most of you have seen, our goal this year is $200,000. Again, a reminder, the annual fund is just critically important to filling that gap so that we can make sure that we provide everything we need to provide for Friday explorations, for Fab Lab. It's all those extras that, frankly, our tuition dollars don't cover completely, because tuition covers really faculty and staff. So of our $200,000 goal, we have already raised $96,000, and it's October. So that is something to be celebrated. And we thought you would enjoy finding out which grade levels are in the lead in terms of our friendly little competition. So shout out to the small but mighty fifth graders. They are in the lead with a 54% participation rate for fifth grade. And then coming in a close second, well, not really close second, at 45% is our freshman class. So entry-level classes seem to be doing really well at the Gregory School. So the competition continues through to February. We'll wrap it up after our Show the Love Day on February 14th. And at the risk of almost being obnoxious about it, you will continue to hear reminders both about annual fund and tax credits as we work our way through the school year. But for those of you who have already contributed, we are really grateful. Something else that's right around the corner in terms of some November events, we have something we just started actually last year. It is an adult only event because we do provide cocktails, but we call it Cocktails and Conversations. And it's really intended for the families of 8th graders and any, frankly, 9th grade families who would like to join us to say to the 8th grade families, you know what? We thought a lot about where to send our child for high school. And we ultimately decided on the Gregory School. And in fact, we've even invited a couple of ninth grade families whose children went elsewhere to start their freshman year. And then within a couple of weeks came back to the Gregory School to, to talk about why is that, what was the difference that they discovered leaving us and then coming back. So the event is on Monday, November 13th. I don't have the time listed, but I think it's like probably 5 to 7, something like that.
I have it down as 5:30, I think, from previous email.
Thank you. So 5:30 on that Monday evening. And again, if you just would like to come and learn more about it, it's basically focused on why choose the Gregory School for high school, and to really cater to those 8th grade families. The other thing, I have a very special request to our farmers market group, and that is hello Rudy. So we were meeting today as a dean and director team to iron out the Friends and Family Day. So for those of you who are new to the Gregory School, it is also a tradition besides Farmers Market on that Tuesday before the Thanksgiving holiday. We have what we call our Friends and Family Day. You will be receiving an invitation so that if you have grandparents or aunts and uncles or older siblings that are back from college that are in town, that you would like to have visit the school that day, we put together a very special schedule that includes opportunities for family members to attend an exploration, but also we have performances in the theater. We've got some special entertainment even beyond the theater with student performances planned, a special lunch that families can participate in. So here's the kicker. When we were looking at that schedule and how to build it, we discovered that we're creating almost an impossibility for faculty members to come and shop at the farmers market because they are fully engaged in this schedule that starts at 8:35. So our friendly request is if there's any way that the farmers market might be set up by 8 a.m. so that those faculty members that are fully engaged in both explorations and who are advisors might be able to do a little shopping between 8 and 8:35, it would be really appreciated. So if that's possible.
I don't see why not. I'm there frequently, even earlier than that. So we could definitely do it.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And I'll talk to Sabrina. I'm sure Sabrina will manage it, right? Kelly, I don't think it will be that hard for us to balance that at all.
No, and we're going to support you in making it happen.
I know. Thanks. That's why I name drop.
Love the can-do attitude. Other than that, other things that are happening at school, we had a wonderful homecoming week. And again, kudos again to Kelly and her team who put on a fabulous event. It really does take the entire community coming together to make that as successful as it was. We are excited. We've rolled out, our first long-term Friday exploration, like seminar-like sessions, and those have been met with a great deal of positivity from our students and frankly from faculty who are excited about really digging more deeply into a particular topic over time. Allison, who is speaking to us tonight, is a very, very busy colleague. Not only does she keep her eye on Friday explorations, she's already talked with faculty about interim week, what went well, what didn't, when are we going to have interim week for next year. She also has been working closely with faculty members on what educators refer to as curricular alignment, scope and sequence. It's really important for all of our academic departments to be looking at that. We have some departments that are a little further ahead than others, but next year we will start our what is called a self-study for our 10-year accreditation, because we are an independent school that's accredited by the Independent Schools Association of the Southwest. And so next year, all of us, including families, will be part of a self-study, and then we will have a team that visits the campus the following October to again review everything that we do. So we know it's important to do our due diligence and get started on that, that work and look at what we're doing now rather than at the last minute. So that falls under Allison's purview. And then tonight, if it's okay with you, Jody, we can just segue. I want to introduce to all of you, if you don't already know her, she is an amazing, first of all, she's one of the finest classroom teachers I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing, observing. I'm proud to say I hired her at Sunrise Drive Elementary School, and then I hired her at the Gregory School. And Allison taught English here with us and then was promoted into our Dean of Faculty and Academic Programming. And so the other part of many responsibilities is to be working with colleagues on what we've referred to as our wellness program. So she's going to provide all of us with an update about where we are with that. And then both Allison and I are happy to entertain any questions that you might have. Miss Jacobs, you are on.
That was quite an introduction. Thank you. It's been a lot of years, Dr. Cheryl.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to find my presentation.
But we won't tell them how old we are, Allison.
No, definitely not. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. This brings back the Zoom. So thank you again for having me. I like being coming to these meetings and hearing all the great stuff that's happening. Our wellness program has a name. We call it the Be Well Cubed program. You'll see why in a little bit. And we also think of it as a culture of wellness. And what I want to do for you tonight is provide a little context on where it all began. We studied our school mission, and part of our school mission as educating the whole child has to do with wellness. And at the same time, we asked students questions because, of course, we want to provide them with the education that they need. And what we found were some major themes that came out from the students, including that students really do understand how nutrition and exercise affect their health, but they also struggle with anxiety and mental health issues. And students, which really touched our hearts or broke our hearts, admitted to considering self-harm at relatively high rates. And so this really said to us, we need to do something. We need to create this culture of wellness at our school. Well, I need to make my thing work. There we go. We collaborated with other independent schools across the nation. Sandra Krause, who was hired at the time, now almost 3 years ago, to take the lead of our wellness program, was able to go to the Boston area and visit a few schools. And then I was able to join her in Denver. And lucky enough to visit Colorado Academy, which was actually the head of school is one of our TGS alum, Mike Davis. It was pretty amazing. And we studied their wellness programs and what were they doing and how did they begin? And we learned a lot. And I also listed, Sandra has a lot of other contacts at different schools. So what did we learn? We really learned that this wellness program that we thought would be a program is a culture. It was very easy to see walking into these schools that the faculty had worked for years to create a culture of wellness, whether it was even how some of the corners of the schools where you could walk in and see areas for students to visit, for students to have meetings together, for students to just sit and maybe have some time out of go color a book for a little while and just really, it was very intentional. Everything was very intentional. So we decided, to do that, we need to really put an infrastructure in place to our system, our school system, so that we can start making these changes. Part of that is to add more advisory time for students. If you had a student in the past couple of years at the Gregory School, advisory was sort of a hit and miss throughout the week. Middle school got a little bit more than upper school, but upper school advisors really only saw their advisees probably for a total of an hour, not an hour a week, about a half an hour a week. And so we needed to up that time. And it was suggested 60 to 75 minutes a week. Include time for faculty collaboration within the school day. Our faculty, as you know, are very busy, and that's why the lunch volunteers have been so wonderful, because it's given us that collaboration time. To allow some students some flex time. So one of the reasons we extended our lunch this year was to give students just time to breathe, time to make those choices, whether to study with peers or meet with their clubs or just chew their food and not just rush around. We would have students who would, eat so fast because they needed to go and meet with somebody or do something. And we just wanted to give them breathing room. And then we wanted to add a shared block of time for grade levels to meet. So that switch from our tutorial time that used to be backed up to lunch to the end of the day academic enrichment time provides us with some flexibility. Right now, we're using that time for our division meetings and our all school meetings, but we already have some plans in place to use that time for shared blocks. So for instance, maybe the sixth graders would come together for a short wellness lesson in a topic area, but it allows us a little bit more time than that 15-minute advisory time where we can gather students together. We also learned we needed to create a wellness team and train that team. So these are the members of our wellness team, Sandra being the head of our wellness team, and Angela Earnhardt starting to take the lead, because Sandra had committed 3 years to us and Sandra's in her 3rd year. So Angela will be starting to take that lead. We also have our 2 deans of students, Jennifer DeBenedetti and Michelle Borleski, our 2 counselors, Saul Ostroff and Ashley Hazen. And then we wanted teacher representation too, and Jeff Clashman and Lori Heald have stepped up for that. We had training from 2 different institutes. We were fortunate enough to have the Institute for Social and Emotional Learning come and visit us last spring and kind of give us an intro to just what is social and emotional intelligence. Sandra and Angela actually also were able to go and be in a retreat at an IFSL retreat over the summer, which they are now starting to share the information from this retreat. And the rest of the wellness committee was trained in a program called Ruler. And it is a program, but it is a program that was suggested to us as a real kickstart to helping our faculty come up with combined vocabulary and really starting to focus on how to regulate and recognize emotions of students. We were also suggested to start with our faculty. So we don't want to start with the students right away. We want faculty to be comfortable in what they're doing. So a lot of our work this year revolves around faculty. So in order to do that, we have our late start professional development sessions on Fridays, and those are either led by the group of trained faculty, or we have outside presenters. One is scheduled to come in February. We have some study group discussions. So what we've done is created small groups that are mixed grade level and mixed department level. And we have topics to reflect on, things to discuss. And those groups, there's been a really positive response for coming back into those small groups and being able to talk about what we're learning. And then again, just that time to process with colleagues. We also suggested to create a parent council, which can add resources and support to our whole program. So our Be Well Cubed program includes the mind and body and spirit. And what we've been doing is talking to faculty about where are our priorities? Where does it lie? What do we see that our needs are now? A lot of the faculty, the high priority is continuing to study that social and emotional intelligence, continuing to study the adolescent brain, thinking about sleep, thinking about social media, thinking about gender identity, all of these things that will help us become stronger in wellness. So as we work with the faculty, we're not forgetting the students. Even though we're starting with the faculty, the students are, of course, right in the forefront. And so we're starting to provide additional wellness experiences through explorations. As I said before, utilize that academic enrichment time for grade level discussions and presentations. We do have 3 wellness service days coming up in March, and Angela, Sandra, and I have already started to brainstorm some ideas for those, a big focus on service for those days. And then also continuing to support Angela, of course, as she transitions into her next role. So are there any questions for either myself or Dr. Cheryl?
I have one question. So is this going to be her primary role, or is she going to still be the athletic director, or is it combined?
Oh, combined, definitely the athletic director. A lot of us wear several hats.
Okay.
I just want to add that I want to just express my gratitude. I can only imagine what it was like to come across the realization that this is not just a program. It's about the culture, and that takes a lot of commitment. So I appreciate your willingness to commit to something so important.
Thank you.
I just need to make a comment, not really a question. I think this is extremely important. I think that with such a tight and small but great community that we have at TGS, I think that's going to set this apart from other schools, of course, and that you're really able to work with the children from 5th grade to 12th grade. And I think that's going to be so important, especially with how much our kids need this. And then to have a parent council involved, sign me up if you are trying to look. I'm there because I think it's very important. So I'm really happy to see the Gregory School doing this.
Well said.
Here. I am really excited about the parent council. I think as parents of engaged students, it's really, we want to see all of our students' friends succeed and feel supported, even when there's confusion about how to do that. And so talking to other parents about best practices and yeah, how to get conversations started that might be hard for kids to even bring up, to their parents for reasons that are so important to them, but might seem so trivial to us, several years later. So thank you very much. I am so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that's the end of our agenda. I will open it up into my executive committee. Did we forget any big things we want to share? I'm not going to complain that there's a few minutes early that we're going to sign off, but is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up before we end the meeting? No. Thank you for all of you that attended. I think we had about 23 people in total. I really appreciate taking time out of your evening. I love seeing the faces, and I hope to see you around campus. Keep an eye out for farmers market information. We'll see you next time. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Joey.